I'm excited to introduce the Superhome Design Guides, which are a collaborative effort between a large group of Superhome expert participants and partners, experts in different fields, and we've created a YouTube channel here for you to listen to different topics and get expert advice on how to create super homes and super renos.
Hello, my name is Julie. I'm the Eco Design Advisor from Christchurch City Council. I provide a free consultation at usually 2 hours. We usually meet at the cafe because I'm a coffee addict. So it's a 2 hours consultation, and basically what we do is we look through the drawings of your new build, and we look at how to make it more efficient, how to make it more eco-friendly, how to make it warmer and drier.
Hi, I'm Dan from Dan Saunders Construction. We have been one of the founding participants in the Superhome movement, so been building energy efficient homes for about 15 years. As you learn, you're building and you're doing things new, you're changing every day, which is really good. It's very important that we always adapt and move forward.
It's actually bringing mindset into how can we make these things better, as well as the affordability and design aspects of it, and just making people aware that you don't have to build big, giant, cold, leaky boxes all the time. You can make your design amazing. You can make it affordable. And you can make it for future generations to live in your house is to be affordable to run, warm, dry, healthy, all those factors, and it's not too scary to do.
Homeowners spend less time designing and thinking about the layout of their house than their time they will spend on choosing a new car and the specs for the new car. And quite often I try to emphasize on that because this is very important. Half of your life is going to be spent at home.
Building a house is not easy. What I think it can be overwhelming for homeowners is you don't know which is the most important part. And my suggestion would be the part that you can't see, which is design, which is structure, the things you can't change later. So you can change the color of the kitchen later, but you cannot change what goes into your wall, into your structure. Whilst those are actually the fundamental part of your house that needs to be decided at the get-go.
What you are trying to do is get a home that has all the benefits of an energy efficient home at a price that's affordable to the person that's building that home. It's about listening to people and then giving them the most, or maximising the benefits that we can within the budget that they've got.
Minimal or minimum things you should do, which are sort of non-negotiable if it comes to a super home, because if you don't go through those steps, it means that you wouldn't really achieve a super home. And the super home is based on designing in a way that you end up with a healthy, cost-efficient, energy-efficient home.
We integrate, or we have started working with the Superhomes movement, and the reason we've started working with them is because of their methodology of base, better, best is very, very much aligned with what VQuest does. It allows you to see what you can do for the money that you do have. So again, if you've got access to cost data within the Superhome movement or within the VQuest application, you can decide what fits your budget, and you can decide how far into that sustainability or into that efficiency of design that you want to go.
So for the house, why do you need to concentrate on the windows within the Superhome or any house design where it's retrofit? Typically houses, standard New Zealand home might lose up to 50-60% of the heat through the windows. If you have single glazed, that's pretty much the hole in the wall. You're heating the whole world, global warming, rather than in your house. And if you improve the windows, you can reduce it by at least half of the loss. That's double glazing, standard double glazing with low E. If you recess it and triple glazing, you drop it by probably 80% of your heat loss through the windows. You just reduce it straight away.
I think people are starting to think a little bit more about how the window performs in the building envelope. So often if they're thinking about warmer walls and roofs and floors, at some point they stumble into, okay, how do we, the window's a big hole in the wall, how do we make that as efficient as we can? And the simple physics becomes at some point reasonably obvious to them. And so if you can have that conversation, which is a conversation I had this afternoon, exactly that, you get these clients who have the time, they're taking the time to understand, they recognise the code is not sufficient, they want to build above it because they realise there's a better world out there.
It's interesting when we come to detail a recessed window, that the first time a builder does it, they just hate the whole idea, and it's going to cost so much time, and it's going to be really expensive, and who's going to do all these extra flashings? And then they do it, and they go, well, that wasn't so bad. And that looks really cool. And then they do it the next time, and it's just like, well, that's how we do it now. So yeah, again, it's all about just sort of a little bit of perseverance and a bit of education, a bit of encouragement, and yeah, we get there eventually.
Now, by making your building efficient, energy efficient on the outside, whatever you pay for your heating, for your ventilation or anything like that is reduced because you're not having to have big fluctuations. So it's important to get your insulation on the outside of your building right. You get that right, everything else knits in together.
Yeah, mould is something that I think is really underrated when it comes to being an issue in New Zealand homes. Brands have lots of data out, and I think there's the Respiratory Foundation of New Zealand, or Asthma Foundation New Zealand, sorry. They have lots of information out about moisture in homes and how it causes mould and what it does to our health. It's something that can be solved.
It is time that we start building better. We've got kids who have got incredibly high numbers of respiratory diseases. I mean, you could just look at any of the old villas around Christchurch and just look at the mould growth at the corner of the jib and just realise what a problem we actually currently have and how we need to build better for our future generations.
Our tagline is changing lives through great architecture and design. And that change is all about changing a person's life. Some of it is overt and in your face, like, it's a beautiful home, you feel great because it's a wonderful space to be in. but the others a little bit more subtle in that, you know, you're breathing fresh filtered air 24/7, no matter what the temperature or the outdoor environment is, that you're living in a constant temperature band rather than big peaks and troughs and stuff, and your health outcomes will be better and you didn't even realize it.
I think there's a misconception about the upfront cost of building new and including all these high performance systems into your new build. But what people have got to look at the end game, the overall cost savings in power bills, doctor's visits, or lack of, as the case may be, turns into money that you can put into your mortgage, which lowers your interest rate as you drop it down. But what is probably not talked about is the well-being, mental well-being. I'm sure if I was living in a mouldy, damp house, I'd be getting down and sort of my work would be affected and my lifestyle would be affected. So I think just where people can be educated on how to build better and include these systems and improve their well-being is one of the key, most important things.
I mean, imagine going into a home and you go, the ambience of the house is just, it captures you because it's the warmth that's coming out from the concrete, the silence around the house, and to know that that's all free every day. Oh.
And it's amazing how once you've explained to them why we're doing it, and this is what you're going to get at the end of the, once your house is built, they say, oh, maybe I should do that, and maybe not spend so much on the bathroom or the kitchen. And yeah, it's amazing once people understand and are more educated how their thinking changes.
But that's what you call a high performance home. That's why you have a super home, because we're not losing the energy that we're creating in the home. We're not having the intrusion of cold coming into the home because it's a high performance home. And so your net cost is lower. It might have cost a little bit more to build, but at the end of the day, it costs less to run and is more comfortable and more healthy. It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
And we model the energy consumption that's going to be used in the home, and we build a system to achieve a big offset of what that consumption is. Generally, with a daytime system, we're trying to cover about 60% of what they use in a 12-month period. With a battery system, we can go all the way up to 80 or even 100%. So what that means is in a real life installation, a super home, we can generate more power than the home actually consumes in a 12-month period.
One thing you've got to pay attention to is that it's predicted that 80% of the current homes in New Zealand will be around in 2050. And that's quite a remarkable stat. That means that to get those homes up to becoming a super home, you need to have a super renovation. And you know, there's a massive space to fit there. And if it was for any kind of building business, that renovating market is a lot bigger than the new building market. It's much, much bigger. So it's an exciting space to be playing in, and then to deliver something that's high quality, best, better, best. Yeah, I think it's exciting.
But, you know, working on retrofitting, you know, existing buildings, you know, I think that it's, you know, I think it makes good economical sense for clients, you know, who, you know, don't necessarily want to go out and, you know, build a new build. But, you know, I think, you know, retrofits are, you know, it's I think probably at the moment that might be kind of one of the kind of main directions you know, I guess the industry is heading in New Zealand.
We have 2 building crews now because of that one of them does small renovations and one of them is our new build crew, and they just specialise it. But you treat the new homes and the old homes in the same way. You're trying to get air tightness, efficiency and acoustic value and comfort. So yeah.
Well, we're not waiting for legislation, we're actually doing it anyway. We're decarbonising right now our cement and our concrete, and we're passing that through right now to everybody. And I just think you don't have to wait. Every individual can make a difference.